Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I don't know what time you're watching this, so hi, hello, it's Mr. Moati. Um, you might remember from last week, well, not last week, but quite some time ago, we had something similar to what you're seeing here on the board. So I presented three classes to you. Each class had some amount of juice inside, but the juice inside each class was not equal to the rest. So all three classes had an unequal amount of juice inside. We can look at class A. Class A has probably half. Class A has half amount, is half full, right? Class B is, I would say, 2/3 full, right? Two out of three, 2/3 full. And class C is probably just 1/3 full. Now, these glasses obviously have an equal amount of liquid inside of them. Let's say milk, right? These glasses have an equal amount of milk inside of them. And what we want to do is to make sure that these glasses have an equal amount of milk. Now, this is going to take some sharing amongst the groups. So think of the classes this way. Class A is group A, class B is group B, class C is group C. Now, we want to share the milk amongst these classes in such a way that each class has equal amounts of milk as the other ones. All of them must be equal. Now look at class B quickly. Class B has the most amount of milk. Class B has the most amount of milk, right? So and class C has the least amount of milk. Now, in order to make the amount of liquid inside these glasses equal, the best thing to do would be to minus some milk from class B and add some milk to class C. So you'd have more milk here and you have less milk here, right? Let's go ahead and do that. Minusing some, and say we're left with this amount. Around half. We left it around half. Right? Half. But now remember, since we minused the milk here, it has to go somewhere. Right? And so the best thing for us to do would be to add that milk onto class C. Right? Onto class C. So we'd have to get rid of this. Let's say you're pouring. Gluck, 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 gluck. I can't do pouring sounds, sorry. And there we go. Glass C also is now half full. So just by sharing amongst the glasses, we were able to make the milk inside of the glasses equal across all three glasses. Half full, half full, half full. Yay! You can now you can now clap for yourself. All right. Now let's take this very same concept, boys and girls. Let's take this very same idea of grouping and sharing. Just get rid of this quickly, and apply it to numbers. Numbers. Right? Grouping and grouping and sharing. All right. Now say we have the numbers 26, 20, and 20. 26, 20, and 20. We want to essentially share numbers amongst these three groups in such a way that they are equal. Now, when you look very carefully at these numbers, I think the best way to do would be to take away 2 from 26 and then add it onto 20, and then take away another 2. Since we've taken away 2 from 26, we are now left with 24, obviously. And then take away another 2 from 24 and add it onto 20. Now this 20 becomes 22. This 20 becomes 22. And because we have basically minused 4 from 26, we would then be left with 22. Right? I'm sorry for the mess, but you know how messy it gets in class. Alright. Let's just quickly do that. Now, how would you represent that? How would you change that? Let's add a bit of color here, right? Let's get some blue going on. Now, how you would write this down? You would then go under 26 and then say 26 minus 4 in brackets. Why? Because you're going to minus 2 from 26 and add it to the first 20, and then minus 2 from 26 and add it to the second 20. So in total, you will be minusing 4, right? 26 minus 4. And then, second step, 20 plus what? Plus 2. And then, 20 plus what again? Plus 2. Plus 2. Now you have shared 4 from 26 across these two numbers. And in doing so, you have just made them equal. Now, this is not where our calculation ends, boys and girls. We still need to solve the sums. So the final step would then be writing down the answers. 26 minus 4 should give you 22. 20 plus 2 should give you 22. 20 plus 2 should again give you 22. And just like that, you have successfully, okay, let me be a little more realistic. And just like that, you have successfully shared your numbers across 3 groups. You have successfully shared the numbers across 3 groups. All right, let's try again with another number. Let's see. Say we have now let's say you have the numbers 150, 100, and 125. 150, 100, and 125. Now, I would like you to pause the video just so you can try and work it out on your own. And then after working it out, just hit play and then see if you've worked out the correct answer. You may pause the video. All right, cool. Let's get to it. So you have 150, you have 100, you have 125. Right? 3 groups. You need to share numbers between or amongst these 3 groups in order to make them equal, right? Now, if you have a keen eye, you would notice that by taking 25 from 150 and adding it onto 100, 150 would become 125, 100 would become 125, and we already have our third 125. So that would make things a lot easier for us, right? Now let's work it out. 150, 100, 125. You're going to minus. What are you minusing from 150 again? Yep, you're minusing 25. Right? And then you have 100. What are you doing to this 100? You're adding to it, right? So it's 100 plus 25. You're adding 25 to make it 125. And for the third group, 125, well, we're not really doing anything here. So you could just say 125 plus 0, right? Remember, when you add 0 to any number, the answer becomes that number, right? When you add 0 to any number, the answer becomes that number. All right, let's go. Let's work it out. Let's work it out. 150 minus 25 should give you 125. 100 plus 25 should give you 125. 125 plus 0 should quite easily give you 125. There you go. Oh, and just in case you're curious, boys and girls, this here is known as a semicolon. So in maths, we use it to basically separate, between two numbers or two terms, right? So this is not the letter J, and don't let it scare you. It doesn't really mean anything. All it's doing is separating between the numbers that we're working with here. All right. Okay, we're gonna do the last two ones. Let's see. Now, say you have the numbers 460, 400, and then 400 again. Please pause the video and try to work this out. All right, let's go. Obviously, in a situation like this, you first assess very carefully. If you take away 20 from 460 and add it to 400, you are left with 420 here. Left with 420 here. And here you now have 400 and... Oh, sorry, what am I saying? Oh, my word. Sorry about that. If you take away 20 from 460 and you add it onto this 400 here, right? 460 then becomes 440, right? 400, because you're adding 20 to it, becomes 420. And then 400 stays the same. But if you take 20 from this 420 and you add it to 400, 400 becomes 420. This 440 now becomes 420 as well. And just like that, you have equal numbers across all three groups. Now let's try to work that out. Now let's represent that quickly, right? Let's represent that. Now what you would do in a situation like this, obviously, is to go 460 minus 40. You're minusing 40 because it's two 20s that are then going to be shared to the second group and the third group, right? I hope that much is clear. Move on to the second one. It's 400. Now, what are you adding to 400? You're adding 20. So it's 400 plus 20. Let's move on to the third one. What are you doing to the third one? You're adding 20 once more. So it's 400 plus 20. And then you just write down the answers to your sums at the bottom. 460 minus 40 will give you 420. 400 plus 20 will give you 420. And once again, 400 plus 20 will give you 420. And just like that, you have just made your numbers equal. I'm going to give you the last one to do. Just the last one. And we'll see if you've caught on by now. All right. So the last one is, let's say, 525, 425, 325. That's the last one. All right. Cool. Let's get it. You can pause the video. Now, what you want to do in a situation like this, essentially, is to go. So you have 525, 425, and 325, right? Now, because the tens and the units are all the same, we don't really have to look at them necessarily. You can just look at our hundreds. You have 500, you have 400, and 300. How do you make those guys equal? Now, if you take 100 from 500 and you add it to 300, 300 becomes 400. 500 becomes 400. And we already have a 400 in the middle. Doesn't just make things a lot easier, right? So basically what you would do in a situation like this is to go 525 minus 100 425 plus 0, because you're not doing anything to it, right? And then 325 plus 100. Where do we get this 100? Did it fall from the sky? Did we get it from Santa Claus? Nope, we got it from over here. This is where we got it from. All right? Let's go. Let's get it. Now you just write down the answers to your sums. 525 minus 100 will give you 425. 425 plus 0 will give you 425. 325 plus 100 will give you 425. And just like that, we have made things equal. Just like that, we are maths geniuses. All right? Okay, boys and girls, I hope everything has been clarified. I hope you're all good to go, and see you in the next video. Thank you.